Hi, everybody, and welcome to the RHAP B&B for episode 3 of Survivor 43. My name is Mike Bloom, here to hopefully, unlike the jewelry that Carla is trading, make you a little less blue as we are talking about the third episode of Survivor 43. Welcoming in a fantastic panel on a scale of very confident to 9. They hit a 10, in my opinion, as to how great they are. First, someone who will always play dumb with me, luckily, much like Gabler. It's the great Liana. Boraas, Liana, how are you?
You are fantastic.
I see what you're going for, but it's like a hair's breadth away from the way that people usually receive the stupid things I say, and so I don't know whether to feel like insulted or not.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is Survivor 43, right? So we're really we're going for it, much like Jeff went for praising Jesse at this episode's tribal council. I don't know what that was about, but that was the thing that happened. That was absolutely hilarious. And I know you and I both found humor in. So look, episode 3, excited to talk about it. I think we, a little bit of a predictable boot, you could say, but I think that the dynamics on all the tribes are all very interesting, especially with Noelle going and getting the steal a vote. Who knows what that is going to mean for the future? So I do think there's quite a meal here.
Yes, and we have a third guest here on our family dinner, in a manner of speaking, to break down episode 3, as we always do. And he is as essential to the B&B wardrobe in the new era as Ryan's shark socks. So excited to welcome back Jordan Kalish. Jordan, how are you?
I'm glad to know that I'm just as important as some guy's socks. So thank you for having me again, Mike and Liana.
I mean, socks are incredibly important to
That's
Survivor. There
That's
was
true.
a non-zero chance that once upon a time in some sort of triple O podcast, Rob and I were going to rank like iconic sock moments, because you have Jason's socks being burned, you have Nyanka wearing Fabio's socks, you have, of course, Aaron Meredith with the kid on his socks as immortalized by the Wandos. And here, Ryan saying like, oh, there's something you want to remember me by? Here's something I wear on one of my feet at all times.
There's Jacob Derwin pouring the whole tribe's food supply into his socks.
The rice in the socks.
There's a lot of socks.
Okay, good. All right. Well, that's already what, 4 or 5? Okay, write them down. Let's go. Start making a list.
Put them in. I think it's more of a brand steal maybe than
more. You're not gonna Brant steal sock moments. I'm sorry, Jordan. Get out of here.
No, not the moments. The socks themselves.
Even worse somehow.
No, I'm not sporting socks. Okay, I do enough laundry.
Yeah. Okay, Dobby.
And look at this, more socks talk here than in the postseason of Major League Baseball. We're one-upping you for October. So, to Liana's point, that was certainly an episode of Survivor 43. This is the first regular quote-unquote episode, right? We had the 2-hour premiere, we had the 90-minute episode 2. This one was a 60-minute episode, and listen, I enjoyed the first half in particular. I do think the episode kind of climaxed with Carla's bead saga, which I think had some fun stuff to it, even though some people may disagree. After that, a bit more straightforward, but certainly people have stuff to take away from it. It was certainly full of a lot of decisions and strategy. I would not say it was the most complicated stuff, but I would say maybe aside from the Brad Boot episode, which was less boring, for lack of a better term, and more so infinitely complicated and confusing, Jordan, I would say this may be one of my least favorite, quote, new era episodes I can think of.
Yeah, and I will preface it by saying this: I've really enjoyed the new era of Survivor, and this was an episode like always, I was at my viewing party in the city. Everyone still had a good time. It's maybe a below average episode of Survivor, but I'm still of the opinion that a below average episode of Survivor is still pretty good TV. I had fun watching it, but was it as great as first of all, I mean, I wouldn't say I don't know if this is really, if I would say the first 3 episodes of the season have been great Survivor yet. I think the first 2 were like pretty good. This one maybe went a little bit down in quality just because of some of the predictability. And I feel like we didn't really progress the story all that much, except for the Carla getting the beads. But I still look, it's still Survivor. After going a full year during COVID of not having it, I'm still happy when we get the show. So I am not mad at the episode. It's just I hope we now are able to progress. I'm a little disappointed. Yeah.
I mean, so I hear what you're saying, Jordan, about we didn't really move the story forward, right? Because we didn't really learn much more about Coco. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Carla got the idol, but in terms of the actual dynamics of that
It was
group,
James's birthday. He had a
think
nice
was.
little.
he got a
I'm assuming it was.
bracelet.
I'm assuming it was Cassidy that made like the leaf crown for him. Look, I know the talk is about the bracelet, but that leaf crown
That was a good
is like
crown.
one step removed from
Yeah.
Cody.
Yeah.
Do you think that
Cody
his
better
hat
look
is
up.
also an idol? All the fancy hats are idols this season. Why not that one?
Okay, so
Probably not.
this was discussed on the know-it-alls, but the whole hat situation, he clearly took the beads off the hat. It's a
Mhm.
bracelet now.
Oh,
I'm
my
Yeah.
so
heart
sad.
breaks.
I'm so sad.
I was mad about that too.
My heart, it
Idol
broke.
hat. What could have been, Cody? You ruined so many things. You ruined Justine's chances of survival, and now you ruined Idol hat.
I just wanted him to play the hat, like take it off his head and give it to Jeff. That would have been absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's stipulated in the rules somewhere that you have to make it into a bracelet because it was called the Survivor Idol bracelet or whatever. So I don't know if that was part of the thing, but I was very disappointed that he disassembled said hat.
I think
Anyway.
Survivor is being too rigid if you're not allowed to make the hat like make the beads
Sure.
into a idol hat. Or why does it really have to be a bracelet?
No, I mean, it shouldn't have to be, right? It was described as a bracelet, but it was said you acquire the beads. If you have the beads, you have an idol and you have your vote back, right? So as long as you have the beads, that's really all I care about.
So
Can I say, I think
if you
sorry.
use the beads in another way, are they still an idol?
Okay.
Oh, you mean to like win a chess tournament?
Yes, if you were to use, I mean, obviously, they don't have the electronic hookup, but if you were to use them in said fashion, I think you still have them at Tribal Council, but you do have to play it, which would be a little bit uncomfortable. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of bit uncomfortable. If you stand up to play them, you're like, Jeff, give me a moment.
Or you have Jeff do it for you.
Oh no!
Be like, can you remove these?
Jeff Probst reach into my ass.
It would give a
Jeff's
new
back in 2000. Never thought I'd be reaching into a Survivor player's butthole to get an idol out. That's how you reinvent this game.
Well,
Jeff once said, "Spin and grin." You got to spin, and then hopefully you'll be grinning once that comes out.
No, Jeff said in the very first episode, I wrote the quote down. What was it? Let me see if I can find it. It was something about like, you just have to see you'll stay open to what Survivor thinks you need. And you know what? I think we're exploring that with anal beads.
Survivor, I have needs out there, okay?
The need for beads.
To bead too furious? No, to bead
or not to bead?
To bead or not? That is the question. Yes,
that is the question.
Okay, what were we talking about before we started talking about anal beads?
The episode. So I was gonna say that we maybe, even though we didn't necessarily progress the story too much, I do think we learned a little bit more about the dynamics of the Red Tribe, which is what's the name? The tribe name is Vessi. Okay, so the Vessi tribe. I do think obviously we've had this duo of NECA and Cody the whole time. I mean, just the fact that Cody is willing to vote against NECA here makes me think that maybe they weren't as close as the show is leading us to believe. And, it looked like a 3-person group of Jesse, NECA, and Cody kind of came together last time. But I think that maybe the dynamics were a little bit more fluid than we thought. And then also, I think the whole like feud that was being set up last episode between Dwight and Jesse, I thought it was going to be maybe more of a thing, but it really turned into nothing here, where they're not even like voting against each other. They're not even voting against Noelle, who Dwight was mad that Jesse went against Noelle and Justine on the last vote. So I kind of think that maybe they're just trying to stay strong at this point and not lose any more challenges.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree that like with Dwight and Jesse, it's less of a divorce or a separation, more so like, hey, we had a rough patch, but now we're back on track.
Sleep on the couch for a night kind of deal.
Exactly. I mean, they even vocalized that as such. With the NECA and Cody thing, I completely agree. And so does NECA. When I interviewed her, like she said, yeah, I always kind of knew that Cody was closer to Jesse than I was. People kept saying NECA and Cody. And so I just rolled with it. It brings up a really valid point that I think was brought up by Rob's fact checker on Twitter, which, look, I think I was a bit more on the pro side of the, okay, too many flashback stuff last week when we were talking with Kevin Jacobs. I will say this week maybe pushed me a bit in the other direction. Now, maybe it was just like seeing stuff back to back or NECA to NECA, if you will, with a lot of the backstory things happening. But I think Rob's Fat Checker brought up a really good point to me where I'm really enjoying a lot of the personal content we're getting. It's not so much to me about it becoming samey. I think for now, it's starting to become for me of like, okay, this is the first level, right, of the proverbial iceberg. The second level needs to be like, okay, but what are their interpersonal relationships, right? Like, how are who they are as people inform who they get along with? Because I am realizing that, like, through three, I guess 2 there's whatever many seasons that we've gotten of this new era so far, we certainly have gotten a lot of content as to like who they are outside of the show and how that might inform who they are on Survivor. But I think a facet that misses for a lot of these people is like, who are you close with and why are you close with them? NECA and Cody is a fantastic example of that. They're constantly lumped together. Why is that the case? To be honest, you look at the two of them, their backgrounds, who they are as people, and I did not necessarily see them getting along. So I would love to know, almost like in a way that we got that segment on Jonathan and Omer last season, like, give me a little bit of information as to why they get along so well. Justine and Noelle, we got like a couple of lines about it, but I think that's what's missing for me, that I can appreciate the fact that we are getting to know them rather than just seeing them as the two-dimensional characters they might be edited to be previously. But I want to go one step further now that that confidence is established and be like, okay, so it's great to know who they are outside of the game. Who are they on the island? And more importantly, how does that transcend to the relationships they make? Because that is the game in a nutshell.
Well, I'm not a storyteller. That's not what I do, but I'm pretty sure in storytelling, you're supposed to show, not tell, right? And I think a lot of times when we get these scenes, they're sort of telling us who these people are. And honestly, as a viewer of the show, it is cool when someone has an interesting story, an inspiring story. I think the Noelle stuff this episode made a lot of sense because we saw how, I would say how it didn't affect her in the challenge, and she was able to, perform that challenge better than basically anybody. So I think that was relevant. But seeing a lot of these scenes, I think I care way more as a Survivor character. What are you doing on the island? Like you said before, Mike, who are you making relationships on the island, as opposed to who you are at home? I don't really care all that much as long as you're not like a horrible person, who you are at home. Like, show us what you're doing on the show and like show us what you're doing strategically and socially in the game.
Okay, so first point, and Jordan, I'm happy that you brought this up, but Noelle, this isn't necessarily about personal connections, but it is about what they showed us about Noelle and what we saw on the show. What we saw on the show is Noelle performed amazing in the challenge and essentially was able to say, look, you need me. You need to have me in these challenges. And then we got the story about how, okay, she was this D1 athlete who went through, this experience, came back. Like, also, I looked up her stats. She was, her freshman year, she tied like the most goals scored as a freshman for UMass. Like, she's oh yeah. And she was a Paralympian, right? So obviously she's like outstanding when it comes to the athletics of it all, which is why, of course, then she succeeds in the challenge and they want to keep her. I think it was a little disconnected the way that they edited it, that it felt like you really have to think to be like, oh yeah, right. And she was really good at this, which is why she succeeded, which is why they wanted to keep her. So I think they had the elements there. It's just the way the pieces were put together that maybe didn't make that much sense. The other point I wanted to bring up was about NECA's personal segment felt very out of place. And as soon as it started happening, I was like, she's gone. I turned to Pooya and I was like, she's gone. Not first moment. But it was in the context of why Jesse was struggling to vote her out. He talked about everything that was mentioned in that personal segment. The fact that she had, his mom had the ministries, did all of this outreach work. And that's why he was so connected to her. So it was like NECA's personal segment was important for understanding why Jesse was forming the bond with her. But she still got voted out. So it didn't actually like really mean anything. So I hear what you guys are saying. I think they're doing it just halfway. Like, it's not fully connecting, but I think they're trying.
Sure.
And actually, sorry, one more thing. I think the Carla Gio moment also would be another one where that is her personal background saying, here's why my relationship with Gio is the way it is, because we both come being part of the alphabet mafia and we're both Latina or Latino. And like, this is where we're coming from. Now, obviously they haven't like gotten anywhere yet because they haven't had to go to tribal council, but like, I can see where they're trying to go with those personal segments and how it relates to their relationships.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that one that sort of relates to the story makes a lot more sense in context. I just wish they wouldn't do it so much. I feel like, and I almost feel like in 40, early on in 43, and maybe it's just like the recency of seeing them. I feel like we're getting more of them in this season than we did in 41 and 42. And I think it's a bit much. I think, like Liana said, when it makes sense for the story, and maybe we will get some things down the line with like Carla and Gio working together, or, you know, if they're working against each other, it sort of becomes like a tragic story. They come from such a similar background, yet they're working against each other, which can absolutely happen in a game like Survivor. So I think that is a very good point. Like, I'm not totally against it. I just want them to use it more strategically and in a way that actually helps the story.
I think, to me, if I'm looking at a perfect example as to how they're editing a tribe, I'm looking at Baka, who I adore week after week. And I think there's a reason why. Like, I even check out Secret Scenes, and they're Baka focused for a reason. This tribe is train wrecky, and they are so entertaining in so many ways. I know that we call them messy Vessi, but like Baka is truly living up to their name from a certain capacity, especially Gabler playing himself up as perhaps a sussy Baka from that perspective. But I think that that's a good one where, like, we know we got like some Ellie stuff, we got a little bit of Sammy stuff, but I feel like so much about them has been on the island, right? We know who gets along with who. We know specifically who does not get along with who. And maybe it's just like that particular configuration of personalities, but I think they're by far the tribe that we know the best, even more than the tribe that has gone to tribal council twice in 3 episodes, just because either we consistently go back to them, or like they have such big personalities constantly talking about what they think about each other, mostly negative, that it just allows for a lot of great content, and therefore we know more about them.
Yeah, so I would say that in terms of understanding and predicting the tribe dynamics, it's very clear a 2v2 with Owen in the middle when it comes to them. And that's the only question mark for me. When it comes to Vessi, I mean, I genuinely don't know. Is Cody closer to Jesse, or is Jesse closer to Dwight, especially with the whole NECA situation being a little bit unclear with the way it was portrayed? They could be all over the place. Like, I genuinely don't know. And so Bessie or Baka, I do really feel like we have the best understanding of. Coco, I'm not even going to put in the conversation because I mean, come on, like where do we even begin? We have what we established in episode 1, and I think we're just pretty much writing on that, the women and James. So, you know, I do agree with that we have the best sort of understanding of the dynamics because of the way that they have edited that tribe.
My Vessi theory is that in my mind, I think the closest duo might be Dwight and Noelle. Dwight was obviously not happy when Jesse flipped the vote and voted out Justine in the last tribal council. And I think in their interactions, it just seems like they're working together. It's clear that from the confessionals that Dwight has maybe lost some trust in Jesse, even though I said before that I think that the feud is maybe a little bit overblown. I don't think they're necessarily against each other. And I think that maybe Cody trusts Jesse, but I think it would be hard to trust somebody like Cody in the game of Survivor. He might not be outwardly lying to you, but he seems like such an erratic guy that how do you really go forward and trust someone like that with your game? So my guess is if that tribe ends up being a 2v2, it's going to be if it is a 2v2, if it's like Jesse and Cody versus Noelle and Dwight, which I don't necessarily think it's going to be, that would be a really interesting vote because Noelle has the steal a vote, but the steal a vote is something you have to announce publicly, and Cody has the idol. So that could be a really interesting vote if Vessi goes back to tribal council.
Right, because that'd be a fun little mini advantage get-in that might happen on this 4-person tribe of Noelle trying to steal Cody or Jesse's vote, and then Cody be like, well, I'm just gonna play this hat on myself, even though it's not a hat, it's around my wrist or maybe up my butt. Living.
I think
past living and you get the beads.
I think if you're Noelle, the best move there might be to steal Cody's vote and then hope that Cody, who has his vote stolen, probably plays the idol on himself and then actually vote for Jesse. I think that's maybe their best move. If it's a 2v2, we don't even know. It could be like 3 against Cody at the next tribal, and he might not even know to play his idol. I'm not even sure.
How do the split the on a revote? How would the split the vote work?
So this vote steal carries over. I know it definitely happened with the extra vote that Shan used against this year. So my assumption is that vote steal would also carry over. That that Noelle would then, if she stole Cody's vote, for example, if there was a 2-2 tie, except if Cody wasn't involved in the tie, if it was tied 2-2 between Jesse and Dwight, she would have Cody's vote and do both of the revotes.
Or let's say she steals Cody's vote, right? So Dwight and Noelle now have 3 votes. Jesse has 1 vote. Dwight and Noelle put 2 on Cody, and then Cody plays the idol, nullifying those 2 votes, meaning it's 1-1, 1 on Jesse, 1 on Noelle, for example.
Yeah.
Go to a revote, they still have 3 votes to the 1. No,
well, they don't because
2
Noelle
gets nullified, so it's still 1.
But Noelle would be in the tie.
So she wouldn't be the one to have the 2, so it'd be 1 and 1. So Dwight would have a vote and Jesse would have a vote. Oh, dude, that would be crazy.
Yeah, and I think in that situation,
no, Jesse couldn't vote. Wait,
who's the vote between? I forgot
Cody can't.
Who's the original vote between.
So Cody can't vote.
You need like the Jeff Probst whiteboard.
I know. I seriously, we got to map this out. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that it could be a complete and total mess, and I think that's part of the reason why maybe I wasn't so negative about this episode, because it gives me like hype for next week. Yeah. It's not necessarily in and of itself a great episode, but I am so stoked. Regardless of what tribe goes to tribal council next week, I am so excited because I feel like the dead weight is not dead weight. It feels rude for NECA. Sorry, NECA. But like the obvious vote, you know what I'm saying, is gone.
Yeah, I don't want to like, I don't want people to kind of like get it twisted here. I'm not down on the potential of the season. I just think that this episode in particular was like a little bit, not a little, for Survivor, boring, a little straightforward. The whole season so far, nothing amazing has really happened yet. But I do think it's a really good cast. I like a lot of the people, and I think that especially in the new era when there's so many things in the game that can kind of get crazy, I do think that this is going to be a fun season of Survivor. I just think it hasn't reached its full potential yet.
And it's really tough coming off of 42.
Sure.
Where even in
42 is
even after those first few episodes, right? There were so many fun things and especially fun personalities being highlighted that it's like, it's very tough to compare. We talk about this all the time where even something like Sambon Del Sur, who I think retroactively has kind of been heralded as a better season, was not looked at well, especially after its first few episodes at the time, because it's like when you're following a very critically heralded season of Survivor, there's inevitable comparisons that happen, especially in an era where a lot of it is a bit samey, and there are going to be constant comparisons to 41 and 42.
I've always called it the better blood versus water. Even like I think right after it, and that also it was helped I think by Natalie Anderson winning, but I've always thought it was the better blood versus water.
Tyson has words.
I know that's a hot take. I know that's not a popular Survivor take.
I think you're fine. So speaking of samey, I think we need to talk about the beads because
they're going to say Sammy.
And well, I mean, yeah, sure. You want to throw a Shih Tzu in the fire? Go
Mom,
ahead.
Come pick me up. There's beads up my butt.
Mommy, I'm cheating at a chess match. There's beads up my butt. Okay. So, what did you guys think about the fact that we got the beads back? Beads back? For the second idol, or did you want something else?
I don't have a problem with it. I expressed this on Twitter when Dalton Ross posted, I think, something against it. I really like it because I like the constant of that bead challenge with the variables of the different ways people handle it. Look at someone like Cody, right, who goes completely cooperative of it. We talked about this last week, Liana, of completely says, I don't know what to do. I don't have a bow. Please help me, Obi-Wan, Jesse Lopez, you're my only hope. Yeah. And so they decide to concoct this big plan. And not only that, it's very unsuspecting because Cody is perceived as this big doof, for lack of a better term. And so he's like, making my hat, help my beads. Carla approaches it in a completely different way. First, it's 100% independent, which is wild to me for a number of reasons. I'll be intrigued to interview the Coco people after the fact to say if Carla was running around all day asking to trade jewelry, she's hawking stuff to make a quick buck, isn't that a little sus? Or
did anything, go off in your brain? Yeah.
But I like it because also she had a really interesting tactic that shows, again, why she is the social hub of the tribe, because she came to each and every person with a different plan. Cody, again, it was one unified idea. Help me with my hat. Carla, it was, okay, I'm going to trade these earrings to Cassidy and Lindsay. Oh, James, I know that I'm making something for my wife for her birthday. Give me this bead. Oh, Ryan, let's make it more transactional in nature. So I really appreciated that as, again, the microcosm. It was my favorite part of the episode as to how she interacts with each person. So that's what I like about it is, again, each person's going to treat it a bit differently. I did not feel like it dragged. It kept my interest going. Again, kept my interest for the most out of anything this episode. And to your point, Liana, about the chess pieces aspect of it, we talked about this last week. When it inevitably gets found on Baka, it's gonna be a shit show.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. It's gonna be a complete disaster. I can't wait. I need them to find it like ASAP.
It's going to be great. And I will say with the scene, so on the surface for this episode, I think I said before it was my favorite sequence of the episode. I think that Carla was the right person to find it because she's a character who I think she's one of the people that we've really seen her thought process so far in the show. So we started
Very good narrator.
sort of like, yeah, we've seen her strategic brain already, but now we got to see her social prowess as well. And I think that she's in a great spot on that tribe. You know, she used the different approach for each person where if they compare notes and like they're like, oh, Carla said this to me about the bees, Carla said this to me about the bees, she could be in a little bit of trouble, but I don't know if I see that happening because again, why are these survivors really going to be worried about like Carla taking their beads? They've never seen this twist before. So I don't think it's all that big of a deal. It sort of was like the kind of like the Joker from the Dark Knight, like the want to know how I got these scars. He has a different story for everybody. So that's like, so Carla got to, yeah. I don't know if anyone's ever compared Carla to the Joker, but I think it works here.
Essentially the same.
Basically the same character.
Yeah, basically.
Here's my issue. I even though it was my favorite scene in the season, I think it has the potential to be a little bit disastrous for the people who got the beads. The reason why, it's the same thing for every tribe. I wish he had to collect something else that wasn't beads because if, you know, eventually there's going to be 3 people who have these idols. Everyone's going to see that like one person has like a bracelet or a hat of these beads. And again, on when this happens on, on the Messi tribe, the Baka on the Baka tribe, this is probably going to get out. Like, so it's going to get out, and already people more.
We're going to say it at the challenge. They're going to be like, "Yeah, I got." Gambler could like, "I got this bracelet idol."
So I kind of think that I like when people have idols or advantages, and they at least have the option of keeping it under wraps. And if there's any sort of like knowledge is power in this game, which I really hate and I really hope they don't do, that could be really bad. And I think it would sort of be not learning from the mistakes of last season, where combining the knowledge is power with the phrase idols was a really bad combination of advantages. I think it could be the same thing here. So I really hope the knowledge is power isn't in here. But even if it's not, like someone could easily get voted out because they were like, oh, did they do the bead thing with you? The beads means idols.
Beats means idols. Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The phrases also though fall under that same issue, right? Which is that it's the same thing for every group, and they knew that what the phrases were for the other groups, right? So if that got out, I mean, it's out for everybody. So the beads are kind of in that same predicament where it's like, oh, were they collecting beads from you? Oh, they were collecting beads from me. Okay. Of course, we're all gonna know the beads mean the same thing. So I think it's that issue of other people knowing is the same as what we had to deal with for the phrases of the other season. So I don't consider that to necessarily be different. However, you can still, have issue with that as a concept, right? Of other people knowing.
Well, I think, I don't know. I like the idea of public idols. Again, I think it's factored in really interestingly in the past 2 seasons, but I think, Jordan, you bring up a very valuable point that knowledge is power is the thing that really spoils the fun of the public idol. We've gotten very lucky that it's failed twice, to be completely honest. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, Jeff did say preseason, no hourglass, no do or die, did not mention knowledge is power. And considering that we saw, like, Gabler got the 2-vote idol in the first journey. Now the second journey, Noelle got a vote steal. I would imagine there's a good chance one of these future trips is going to lead to a knowledge is power acquisition, which makes me sad because, again, the fun thing about the public idols is strategizing around them. When you essentially have a way to like get a very easy route to getting through that feels less fun to me.
Yeah, well, Danny McRae didn't protest enough against the knowledge is power apparently to get it moved. I'm happy that you brought up, what do we call it? Ballsack Island? Because now it's not Sax Rock. Okay,
Roxroy
Island. But that's the thing. It's not really about that anymore because they took the hike like up the mountains. The only thing that was like a through line was the island. I don't know. The only through line was the cards, which makes me feel like we got to call it like Card Island.
You're right. Why did they do a hike this time, but not the first time?
Well, I'm happy at least for the change in geography. If they're not going to change the beads, at least they're having them go a different place. Because I will say what felt a bit samey about 41 and 42 was like, oh, this hike is tough.
Yeah.
And you're like, once you've seen people do that for the umpteenth time, with the exception of like the Roxroy Lydia interaction, right? Where like they just were not on the same page. You've seen it. You've seen people talk about, oh, I have to go all the way up there. So I'm happy they at least like change the geography slightly for our own sake.
I like that
island.
every episode we get like a mini opening of Survivor Guatemala. So that's like the one good thing about it. No, but in all seriousness, like I remember for season 41, the first time they did it, I was like, oh, I really like this. This is kind of cool. The decision is interesting. But then they did it again and they did it again and they did it again. I think this could be like it could have been a 41/42 cycle thing. Do it once per season and don't do it every episode, because then it just kind of gets repetitive and it's not really interesting. I'd actually, I've never been a fan of, on Survivor where it turns into like the mad treasure hunt of people running after idols and advantages, but I'd almost rather just see a regular idol find at this point than them going to some dumb island.
You don't like Isthmus Island?
Isthmus Island.
That itself is paradoxical. Yeah. I will say that.
Welcome to the narrow strip of land between two islands. It's the Isthmus.
Lagoon Island.
The game is a lot like an isthmus, where you're between two different parties and you have to be the connector in between. Carla is the isthmus.
The other tribe, we're an alliance of comfort. We're all together. The other alliance is like an island of archipelagos. They're all separate.
Oh my God, that's what I was saying. I was like, we're like an archipelago. We're all different. But we're all connected underneath. We were created by the same volcanic eruption.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that Liana's a geographer. Only that person can pull out those terms. She's lying, and the geographers are the ones you can't trust. They know this map better than any of us do.
Yeah, and then 2 minutes later, Mike is saying, "I'm actually a geographer."
Yeah, he's an elevator. Geographer.
Yeah, the geography of elevators.
Yeah, well.
Would you like that a map of all the elevators in the world?
Oh.
So like just tall buildings?
Yeah.
Or like where they're all located? I would just want like a Google Maps with pins drop for everywhere.
There's 6th-floor walk-ups in the city that don't have elevators.
I think if you have listen, not to yuck anyone's yum, like if you have an elevator kink, that is valuable information. I don't want to step into any sort of major metropolitan area if I'm trying to seal the deal with my date and be like, does this place have an elevator? No? Okay, I've got to find the next location.
Ooh, not an elevator OnlyFans. Is that a thing?
Going down.
Ground floor, baby. Up to the penthouse? Don't mind if I do.
Well, let's get into on a completely odd segue. Especially given NECA's background. Let's talk about her time here. So, look, Rob and I did not necessarily have high hopes for NECA coming to the season, particularly her animancy, which she admitted after the fact was probably not the best idea, to be like, people lie and cheat on Survivor. I don't think I need to do that. Perhaps one of the reasons why she ended up being voted out 3rd from the season. Liana, how did you think NECA was going to do in the preseason?
Okay, so I also did have NECA going pre-jury, RIP Queen, or should I say suck it up chick. So what I said for NECA
is was that a reference thing? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what she said. She was talking about something. She was like, yeah, when I'm dealing with my first world problems, I go, suck it up chick. And I was like, yeah, suck it up chick. I love that. Anyway, okay, so I said NECA was a huge social threat as she bonded with everyone and was just a shining ball of joy. NECA struggles and challenges, however, but is kept safe for the first few votes because of her social ability. But the final, I don't know why it was this specific, the final tribal council before the merge, Jesse has to choose between Dwight and NECA. Sadly for NECA, Jesse votes her out, siding with Dwight. I said her closest ally would be Noelle, her enemy would be Dwight, and she would have 29 confessionals.
Damn, you were banking on that NECA talking head.
Yeah, look, again, I was going based off of the Winners at War confessional count, which everyone had like 20. So I was like, yeah, of course, she's going to have 29.
She did have like 2 different like home video packages, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, how much does that count for? It's interesting. I'm looking at the confessional chart. Gio got 1 last episode, but like, does he get bonus points for getting the package? I feel like he should.
He probably should, but unfortunately, I think the raw confessional count gave her 7.
7, yeah. According to Rob's fact checker, it is currently 7.
Yeah.
Or I should say currently, it's always going to be 7 unless NECA comes back.
For the same episode, yeah.
Or unless Beyond the Grave. So, yeah, suffice it to say, not to put the cart before the horse, NECA went pre-jury for me.
Yeah.
I said she would immediately lock herself down to a day 1 alliance with Cody, which is something she never breaks.
Oh, look at you.
She'll initially seem pleasant and hardworking around camp, bonding with people like Jesse over being a parent. Her lack of lie strategy bounces back on her when she tells Dwight to his face that he's going home, and like Laura Boneham from the worst Blood versus Water, according to Jordan Kalish, she suffers the consequences. She'll get the most flustered at tribal council with double talk when Jeff tries to ask her a question. I said her closest ally would be Cody. Her enemy, like Liana, would be Dwight. She had 6 confessionals, and the randomly generated phrase for NECA, shingle color was not something the couple had ever talked about.
I don't know what that means at all.
I mean,
like, not even close.
Look, she's doing all of these missionaries, and like, you know, maybe they're putting shingles on some of the roofs of the buildings they're built. I mean, I don't know what missionaries do, but I assume building buildings is like one of the things.
I don't. Please don't clip out. She's doing all the missionaries. I think that is not the proper use of the word.
Yeah, that's not. Not really enough room on the elevators to really
yes. Well, the position when she gets into the, it's tough.
Yeah, but yeah, to your point, they were, rebuilding. Shingle color may not have been a concern.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, just to no, Jordan, you give your ruling first. I don't want to taint your opinion.
So you both got the placement pretty similar. You both said that Dwight would be an enemy. I don't know if Dwight was necessary. I guess he was. I mean, he did want her voted out of the last tribal council. So I guess
she did braid his hair.
That's true. I don't think they were like personally enemies, but I guess they were on different sides of the game. So I mean, I think it comes down to the ally, which Mike Bloom did say it was Cody. And even though we've talked about how the NECA and Cody thing may have been more editing than anything else, I think that was probably the majority of her story, is that she was close with Cody. So Liana did mention that she'd be bad at challenges, but I just think because of the alliance there, I think that Mike is a little bit closer there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
fair.
Listen,
Liana
also
was
the confessional, the confessional count. The confessional count.
Okay, first of all, rude. However, I will say, so I went back and I calculated the total amount of confessionals that we are off by, right?
Okay.
So, based on a plus or minus. So you said, 6, for example, Mike. So I gave you a +1, even though it was technically 6 for 7, I gave you a +1. So total confessionals, Mike was off by 29 confessionals. And I will say 27 of those were for Justine. You were off by 1 for the other 2. I'm just a little bit off. 64 for now.
For now. Put a pin in that.
How many? So does I guess the whole show in your hypothetical would just be confessionals?
So stupid. I can't believe it didn't process. I Googled like Survivor confessionals. The winners at War 1 popped up. I grabbed it, put it in my document, wrote the whole thing. Oh, I finished them approximately 6th. Went up, looked who had 6, and it was winners at war. So obviously everyone had way more confessionals than normal. So look, this is a fire token situation. I'm proud to admit it. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of a disaster, but I'm not too far behind in terms of the, personal votes.
Right.
I think we both have a half from the first episode.
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, so we're tied. Yeah, we're tied.
Exactly. No, but
I'm
Liana is to confessional counts as NECA is to puzzles.
Yeah, disaster.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say speaking of disaster because, Jordan, I'm always so happy when you come in here and say, I have a game. You are one of the only guests to do so. And so we really give you high marks no matter what the quality may be. Do not make me eat my words here.
All right.
What are we playing from you today?
I think this is going to be a fun game. And when we were talking about beads puns before, there was a very easy one that I could have said, but I wanted to save it because it is the title of my game. The game is called Beads, Baby.
There we go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You had to have known.
Can you get the RHAP shop to remake the Seeds Baby t-shirt now with beads?
I think we can. I think we have to have Carla's face on it. Maybe it's a little Cody hat. Maybe it's a hat. Maybe it's a Beads Baby hat. I think that's good.
I love that. Yeah. Okay, I'm down.
And then have the beads dotted around like the brim almost.
Yeah, I think that works. And maybe each of the beads are their Survivor 43 players' faces. So we have all the players involved because each of them have a bead. I think this
should,
works.
Should that have been the beads? Is like everyone has a personal bead, and instead of like a stylized, like the one with Gio when he had the waves on it, it's just a bead of everyone's faces, Shrinky Dink style.
So I think we talked about how like we're already probably going to have players like finding out about this twist. I think if their faces were on the beads, that they would know something was up.
And no one would give away a bead with their
exactly.
face on it.
That
And
would
why
be so much harder.
Else, yeah,
like, I really want this. I'm making
your face
my
on my wrist.
Yeah.
I want
your face.
I really need your face, Gio.
Well, I think that would lend more to Carla's Ryan argument, right? Of like, I need something to remember you by. I need to look when I look at my wrist. I want to see your face.
I see home. Yeah, I look at my wrist and see home.
What?
So, here's the thing with the game Beads Baby. The two of you are going to compete against each other, and the goal of the game is to win the most beads from some players who have played Survivor in the history of the game. So I have, and this is real, I have reached out to certain players who have played Survivor.
Oh,
and
no.
they told me how their bead could be earned. For each person, you're each going to give me an answer of how to get their bead. And whoever gives the closest answer will get a point. Now, it doesn't have to be exact. You just have to be the closest. And I'm going to be the judge of this. And let's start.
Jordan, just tell me. What's a Karishma say?
Wait. We need to like lay out, just like restate the ground rules here. Because this is like out of Dr. Seuss, one of the most ridiculous ideas I've heard in my life. You reached out.
Bead, two bead.
Yeah,
I used my social capital within the Survivor community and was like, how could I get your bead?
I'm glad you used it for this.
Hypothetical question of if you had a bead, how would I get? Now, is this them playing Survivor or just them in real life?
I told them you can give your answer of like what it would actually take on the show. I said that you can give an answer that represents you. How would Mike and Liana get your bead?
And so then we have to provide answers.
Yeah.
And you, like making Jesse throw his laptop in frustration upon listening to this, would use an arbitrary qualitative judgment to say which one is quote unquote
and look,
closer.
if you're both way off, then you don't have to get a point for each.
Yeah, but
person.
what does way off even mean, Jordan?
I think we're about to find out. Look, I mean, some B&B moments take a while to become legendary. Some are legendary the minute they happen. I think this is one of those moments. And
more like legendary.
Oh my God. Remember, Mike, my idea, how much does this bead cost? Better than Jordan's idea. I just want to state that.
Yeah, we'll get to the game that eventually we came in with, but I talked to Liana and I was like, I got nothing. She's like, well, how about what does this bead cost? And it's like, what does this bead cost?
All right, let's find out what these beads cost. It's going to cost you.
All right, let's see.
Finding out guessing what you would think these people would give up their bead for. So let's start with the most recent winner of Survivor, Marianne Oketch. How are you getting Marianne's bead? Let's start with we'll alternate of who goes first. Liana, you get to go first for this.
Oh, there's no multiple choice.
We have to throw
it. Marianne is on the beach.
How close it is.
Okay, and I think what we're gonna do, because I have like 13 of these, I think instead of each of you giving an answer, I think we'll just alternate, and that's probably better. I have an odd number, so the last one you can both give an answer, and that'll be the tiebreaker.
But then how will you determine if I get it or not? Like, it's
we'll both give answers, but we'll make it quick.
Let's make it quick. Okay, so Mike, do you want to go first? Then you go first, Mike.
I let her win at Mario Party.
Okay, so you're going to let Marianne win at Mario Party.
She's a big Mario Party player. She's super competitive. She played on Gabby's stream. I'm going to abdicate my stars to her, give her the win. I think that should net me the bead.
Okay, Liana.
Okay, I'm just going to be genuinely nice to her.
Okay.
So
the answer is that Marianne said that she would give it up for tree mail. Tree mail is the most coveted thing on the island. People fight over keeping the tree mail notes. She would also accept Mariah's forgotten water bottle, which apparently she left on the island after getting voted out. So neither of you get a point. And I thought it was very interesting because on the Romeo was on the podcast, and he was actually talking about how they used to like fight over the beads and like all the trinkets from tree mail. So I guess that checks out for season 42. They were really into tree mail. I don't think either of you earned Marianne's bead.
I did say Mariah. They're very close. They're
not
basically
even
the same person.
No, you might have all
I'm
said
sorry,
Luigi.
Mike.
No, doesn't count.
I gave you the point for NECA and Cody, and I don't know if I could give you the point for this. So unfortunately, you don't get the bead. So the next person that we have here is Zach Wertenberger. How are we getting Zach Wertenberger's bead? Mike went first last time. Liana, you could go first this time.
Okay. I will promise to be his island wife.
Okay. Interesting.
I will guarantee he survives past one tribal council.
So Zach says that his bead is not for the faint of heart. He's left it in a chamber far beneath the island, and the only entrance is guarded by Fluffy, a 3-headed dog. If you could somehow make it past him and the rest of my trials, then you'll realize that his bead is hidden in a mirror. Yeah, so he
like
went,
Harry Potter.
He went full Harry Potter. The bead will reveal itself to the person most worthy. So again, I don't think I can award a bead here.
All right. Well, now we know the scope of what we're working with, I suppose.
Good. So Harry Potter. Yeah, we should have gotten that, Mike. Obviously. Yeah.
And again, some people went kind of abstract. Some people went a little more realistic. Okay. So what about Dr. Evie Jagoda?
Oh. I would say in exchange for the bead, I would borrow some of Mariah's rainbow clothing, because Evie wore the rainbow briefs on the island. I think they would look incredible in a full rainbow ensemble.
Okay, I will say in exchange for the bead, I will help all the little turtles make it to the sea.
Oh, that's a good
that's
one.
very sweet, Liana.
Yeah.
I will say though, Mike, you have earned Dr. Evie's bead, because Evie said some sort of gay rights proclamation. And I would say that the rainbow colored outfit would be some sort of gay rights proclamation. So Mike, you have a 1 bead lead.
1 bead lead, baby. That's my nickname.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. I love it.
It's okay, because Evie's very good friend on the island, Tiffany Seeley, also gave me an answer for how to earn her bead.
Oh, I got this one. This is locked in.
Go to know-it-alls and raise a little bit of hell. Does that count?
It could. Mike, what's your answer?
The murder of David Voce.
Okay, so Tiffany said, "OMG, my answer is inappropriate." Is that an answer in itself? Can't say on national TV what I make them promise.
I think murder counts.
I think give a little, raise hell. Raise hell. Raise hell.
Here's what I'm going to say. I think that Liana talks about raising hell at know-it-alls. Like that could be, that the know-it-alls is a crazy night. Mike did talk about murder. That is something you probably wouldn't want to confess to on live TV. I am going to say that you both earned the beat of Tiffany Seeley. I think that those were both good answers. And so Mike, you're up 2-1. So I have an automated scoreboard that doesn't allow you both to share a bead. So I'm just not going to put either of your names in. Mike, you have a
automated scoreboard.
I'm using
no one will ever see. Jordan, get a life, man.
It's Google Sheets. It's a Google Sheet. It's like an easy function. I don't know math.
An automated scoreboard. That's called the table.
Yeah, but no. The way it works, I write your name, and you get like a little 1 next to your name, and then if I write it again, you get a 2.
Yeah, this is Mafia all over again. Got it.
Exactly. But I made this one. I didn't even make the Mafia scoreboard. All right. So from Tiffany, a fellow member of the tribe, Eliza Orleans. How are we getting Eliza Orleans' bead?
Oh.
Go ahead. Go, Liana. You got it.
Okay. I promise her my vote if she ever runs again.
Oh, that's a good one. I would say, this is a good one. I would say Andrew Savage must never wear a beanie again.
All right, Andrew Savage must never wear a beanie again. You would think that Eliza might talk about Savage here. She did not. She said she's a pretty possessive person and especially sentimental about things and being on Survivor meant a lot. So she doesn't think she'd give it up, except if it would save an ally, or she would need sworn loyalty and the truth, which Liana did promise her vote. So I believe that goes to Liana. You get Eliza's bead. We are at 2-2. And let's go to a good friend of Eliza Orleans. I've brought up Survivor Guatemala a couple times. Brian Corden. How do you get Brian Corden's bead?
Oh, yeah. Second season on Survivor. There you go. Promise him a second season. You get the bead.
Yeah, not second chances. That was my first thought, too.
Yep.
Retweet every single tweet he does on Twitter.
Okay, so he said, "Sure, you can have my bead, but first, tell the tribe all about your craziest drunk story." And Brian Corden is good at getting his tribe members to tell stories on the show. Famously, he said, "I'll also give you the gold bead if you could trade me a platinum one." So, unfortunately, neither of you have earned Brian Corden's bead.
Well, I didn't realize he'd make all these references to his season.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was...
he seems competitive enough that I thought he would have legitimately given an answer like Eliza would have.
I could see it, but no, he gave. And again, when you think about Brian Corden, he's platinum. That's what we know. So unfortunately, neither of you get that bead. Let's go to Survivor. Back to Survivor 42. Omer Zahir.
Whose
Let's
turn
start
is
with
it? Yours or mine?
I believe who gave the first answer last time.
I think
I
Liana
went
did.
first.
I'll go
Okay.
here. If I opened a local bird sanctuary, could he give me my bead?
All right, and Leon.
Shoot, I mean, obviously, I'm also going to say something like vet related. I provide extra funding for all vets in Canada.
All right, so Omer said, "I would require that they let the crying birds that inhabit the island sleep in our shelter, and that they play animal charades with me." So Mike did talk about the bird sanctuary.
Said birds, that counts.
I think that's literally a bird sanctuary. I think Mike has earned Omer's bead. Mike,
you play games with the birds in the bird sanctuaries, right?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he meant he was going to play animal charades with the birds or animal charades with the tribe mates, but I think it was the tribe mates.
Yeah, I think it's like the Boys and Girls Club, right? The Birds and Girls Club of America.
Yeah, the
exactly.
Big Brother, Big Sisters of America. It's the same
Bird
thing
brother,
with the
bird
birds. Yeah, bird
sister.
brother.
So Mike, you have a 3-2 lead.
A parent bird with an underserved, underprivileged child. Like, here's your parakeet, Kelsey.
All right, Jeremy, here's your macaw.
Enjoy your cockatoo, Charles.
These are all the next season. Like Omer will probably one day play Survivor again, but it's just going to be him and a bunch of birds on the island.
I love it.
I mean, that'd be his heaven, right?
I think that'd be a great. That's just a nature show at that point. I think that Omer would love it. So let's go. You did predict this one. This is someone who wants that. Mike and I were. Are we allowed to spoil Black Widow Brigade?
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
I think I think
Mike Bloom and I were. Yeah, we were in the Black Widow Brigade in Alex Gardner's famous YouTube series with Karishma Patel. How are we getting Karishma's bead? And I believe, Liana, you were going first.
Okay, so getting proper treatment for a UTI. Is that too controversial? Wasn't she part of the women that like we're talking about Survivor because you don't get your underwear and or you don't get your swimsuit, so you get a UTI? Okay.
Yeah. Mike.
Yeah, that'll definitely work.
That might be exactly what she said, word for word. You never know.
I will say I offer a night of babysitting. I give her a night off from parenting a newborn in exchange for the bead.
Okay, so she said that it's unlikely she would give it away because she wants to bring the trinkets home, but she would need knowledge, aka power. She'd want to be in on the strategy of how the bead is going to help her further in the game. She said also at the right time, she may exchange it for a really good, genuine hug because that's all she really wanted out there. So,
oh my God, Karishma.
Yes, very, very, very sweet. So, unfortunately, neither of you. She said hug, not UTI.
Hugs lead to UTIs.
No,
I mean they could eventually, like not just from the hug.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in between. I'm not saying.
Okay, I'm never hugging Mike Bloom again.
Yeah, no one hug. Yeah, where's my hug?
Yeah, I don't want any of these Bloom hugs after this. Okay. Also was not in the Black Widow Brigade with us, but played Black Widow Brigade. Lyrsa Torres. What did Lyrsa say?
A jacket. Eggs.
Okay, jacket or eggs. Mike said jacket. Liana said eggs. She said a ribeye, medium, with Caesar salad. Also would accept a big cup of Puerto Rican coffee with quesito, which I looked it up is a Puerto Rican cheese-filled pastry. Eggs are food. Liana,
yes!
You get the point. We are tied 3-3.
Maybe an egg finds its way onto the plate.
A couple people left. We have some heavy hitters coming up. We have
all right.
T-Bird Cooper. T-Bird.
Oh
my gosh.
And Liana, you get to go first here.
This is easy.
Oh
this
boy.
is a cinch.
Oh, okay. Oh boy. The ability to put her arm down was staying in a challenge. I don't know. That's not an answer, but accept it, please, and let's just move on.
Yeah, I'll go outside the game here. I feel like I keep making this mistake, but I want to keep doing it. I think she would trade a beat away if the Atlanta Braves won the World Series in a month.
All right. I'm sure she would be happy if the Braves went back to back. Liana, I'm sure she would have been happy. She did eventually get to put her arm down in that challenge against Clarence. That is not the direction she went. She said she had to think about this one, but she decided that she would have to push Lex hard. And she talked about Lex a lot in this answer for some reason. What? I did not ask about specific trimates, but here's what she said. I'm going to have to push Lex hard to even think about giving one of my beads away to him. So Lex's luxury item was his
son. I like how Lex, she like automatically assumed he was the one. I was like, he's the one who's asking.
I did
say that Liana? Lex?
I don't know. I did say Michael and Liana would be playing this game. So she said that his luxury item was his son's baby shoes. She would take nothing less. He's very emotional, sensitive, nostalgic. One of the many reasons why she loves him dearly. So he would not be happy negotiating the baby shoes. Jordan, I would take nothing less. And then she wrote back later, a few minutes later. P.S. Not one baby shoe, both baby shoes. The pair.
Oh my god!
And then she also said she would.
Keeper's hardcore.
Yeah, and she did message me back a few minutes later and said that she would return them after the game.
Oh my god, her answer was Lex's baby shoes.
But
both of them, to clarify. Both.
If you just said
she's not gonna like if he tries to Ryan it and is like, oh, I'll give you the one shoe. She's like, I don't want this dirty ass shoe. I want both of them.
No.
Not right. It's like an Island of the Idols negotiation. No, I'm not taking one shoe. I want both of your baby shoes, Lex.
What do you think she would do? Would she like put little legs on them and pretend to dance around like a little baby?
Maybe. She did not specify what she was doing.
Yeah, like put little like hot dogs in the shoes. I don't know where she get hot dogs. I'd be like, do.
Yeah.
She did specify both shoes though, so clearly she needed both for her puppeteering endeavors. I don't know.
Hey, Lex, it's me, little Tabor. Dap-a-doo-doo-doo.
I get dip, tip, tap, tip, tap, tip. I don't know. It's her tap dancing.
You gotta keep me in the game, or I'll keep on dancing.
Tip, tap, tip, tip.
That was one of the more out there answers. And talking about out there, we have another great Survivor contestant who has a bead that you could earn, Dr. Christian Ubicki. I think
yes.
I believe who went first last time? I think Liana did. Yeah, Liana went first. So Mike gets to go first this time.
A nice Reuben sandwich.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Gabby's baby shoes, but both of them.
So
to be clear,
more shoes, both of Gabby's baby shoes. Unfortunately, you're not going to earn Christian's bead because Christian said he would ask to take the bead back home as a learning example, or he would say that they would have to take the bead back home as a learning example to teach the kids about the geometry of toroids. Toroids in mathematics are a surface of revolution with a hole in the middle. So, Liana, you probably knew that. Mike, you knew that too. I didn't know. I had never heard that word before.
Yeah.
I only know because my son watches like a copious amount of shape-based entertainment, and they throw 3D shapes in there, and like the toroids ended up showing their way there.
Maybe that wasn't invented yet when I was watching kid shows. It probably was. I don't. I don't think they've invented shapes since I've been alive. I think the shapes were invented a long time ago.
No, I think you had shapes. I just don't think you had shape-based entertainment, as Mike describes it.
So alluring when I describe it that way.
I think it was like,
have you seen the 3D channel?
Yeah. Didn't Sesame Street have like the shape of the day? I feel like the square was the shape of the day at one point. They had the number and the letter. I think there's
letter
shapes.
Of a day.
I think. Well, to your point, I think the shape of the day they end up coming up with a bunch of repeats. The letter of the day repeats after 26, and the number of the day can pretty much go on forever. So,
it's okay. All right, kids. It's H day, triangular prism day, and 5008. 69 day. Like what? What?
Today, I can say at school today was a B day. I can confirm as someone who works in elementary school. Yes. So okay, there are 2 beads left. We are tied 3-3.
Wow.
The second to last bead is none other than Sari Fields. Sari Fields has a bead.
Oh my
God. It is up for grabs. And Liana, I believe you're going first here. Liana,
this is the most desirous bead of them all, with no offense to the other bead givers.
I know. This is
ask a very important question.
much pressure. I am going to go with the vote that she cast for Sarah Lucina to win Game Changers. Final answer.
Okay.
Like to give back the vote?
Yeah, to get it back. Because,
I would say, okay, let me put, so Suri is a gamer. She would say, like, what would you need to offer me? I would say to marry my child off to Jared Fields. I would set her son up with my own child.
Yep.
So you would set the son up with your own child, Jared Fields. Jared Fields coincidentally did also appear at the last live game of Survivor I played with Suri. He was there filming the whole. It was very very fun seeing Jared and Suri Fields at this game. That is not the direction she went. Liana, she did not go in your direction either. She said they would need to give her all the reward food for the remainder of the show. So unfortunately, you did not get Suri's
a lifetime reward steal. Any reward you go on, you have to give it to me.
That is so much Applebee's. You can't even imagine.
Yes, and we have one more.
Some would say that's too much Applebee's, but honestly, any amount of Applebee's is too much Applebee's.
Not the Applebee's slander.
Yeah, I'm actually somewhat surprised Karishma didn't go in the Applebee's direction.
That's what I thought was my other option. Yeah. For Karishma, obviously, you got to go Applebee's.
We have one more bead and we are still tied. So whoever gets this bead is going to win. And hopefully one of you get it, because if not, we might end in a tie. Right now, you both have 3 beads. So the good thing is, if you combine your beads, you can make one idol. So that's fun.
Good, nice.
Well, I guess they're actually sharing Eliza's beads.
We did repeat a bead, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's 5 beads. Well, if there's only 5 people in the tribe, right? Then you only have 5 beads.
That's true. Yeah. So you can still make an idol if you're on a 5-person tribe. So this is going to be from 2-time Survivor winner Sandra Diaz Twine. How are you getting Sandra Diaz Twine's bead? And I believe, Mike, you are going first. For the win, which Sandra knows how to do.
How do I get Sandra's bead? This is tough. This is Sandra, the one who hoarded all the coffee, right? to get JT mad at Michaela, or all the sugar. Oh man. Okay, so Sandra would also take it from a game perspective. I would say for Sandra, I would JT style give her every advantage I have and every advantage to come. And I'll pen a lovely worded letter for each and every one I give.
All right.
Okay, my answer is I will burn Russell's hat, Russell's shirt, Russell's socks. I'll burn it all.
Russell.
I will burn Russell. Yeah, sure. Effigy. Light it up. Like, let's go.
Yes, now you're the one advocating for murder.
Yay, murder! We're a pro-murder podcast.
Liana's asking for murder.
Yeah.
Mike wants the advantages. Sandra Diaz Twine said, simply ask for it. I don't think that anyone would expect that answer from me. I'd be clueless as to the reason for needing it, so I'm sure I would just give it up. Which honestly is, I think, what happened with a lot of people, at least in the first time they did the beads twist, because they didn't know these beads were so special. So unfortunately, none of you get the Sandra bead. We are going to finish with a 3-3 tied. You have tied.
Yay!
You have a shared idol that you could combine. So I guess you're allies now. You can use them later in the game to vote out any of these great Survivor players who were nice enough to give their answers.
And we have so much blood on our hands from all the murder we've done.
So much fire.
Oh my goodness. Jordan, that was a ridiculously creative game. And thank you for hopefully not burning too many bridges with these contestants by sliding to the GMs and be like, what would you do for a bead?
You know what? I will say, like, they seemed very receptive. They liked, I think they liked the question. They were all seemed interested by it, or they were just placating me because they probably think I'm a crazy stalker fan. So yeah, I was very, very appreciative that they got back to me. So good job on the game. I think it's hard to get some of these beads. I mean, it's really shown that that Carla and Cody are just fantastic Survivor players who were able to get all of their tribe members beads. And I guess living with them on the islands can sort of help in the situation. I'm sure if you guys were living on the island with Zach Wertenberger and Brian Corden and all these people, you would have no problem
That is true. Yes, we would have known to go into the Harry Potter universe to charm Fluffy to make it to get the bead. But
Oh, yeah, yeah.
hey, it's understandable.
To
No,
be
I
fair, to be fair, Tori probably would have gotten the answer before us, right? Because wasn't she the one that's like, "Oh, Swathy, Zach, you're Gen Z, you love
Oh my
Harry
God,
Potter."
you guys like love Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
We
And,
all
yeah.
love Harry Potter.
He would have been giving her the bead before she even had to ask for the bead.
Yeah.
And I got to learn what toroids were in this game. So we really progressed, I think.
Yes, and
we all did a great job.
We
You
all
guys have an
learned
idol.
something
about
today.
topology. Great, good.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so let's move on here to our other game of the week. It is unfortunately not how much does this bead cost, but honestly, it's close enough. We're talking transactions this week,
Okay.
so it's only appropriate that we play The Price is
Yes.
Roared.
Ooh.
Survivor 43 edition.
Nice, and we have a shared screen. Look at this.
We have
This is
Wow.
very
shared screen, we
professional.
have a slideshow. We're going corporate right now. So, but if you're not watching the video, you can follow along at bit.ly/priceisrourke43. In case
We're
you
going
don't know this game, very simple. I have scrounged through eBay and found several Survivor-based items that are for sale, either up for bid or just flat out for sale. Price is Right style, these two are going to each put in a bid as to how much they think this item costs according to the eBay listing. I will then read off the price. I'll say whoever comes closest, screw them without going over. I'm going to make it hard on myself and do the Excel scoreboard math in my head, but we will figure out exactly who's going to be closer on the money here. But I think it makes sense given, again, a lot of the bargaining and exchanging that Carla was doing in the episode. It's safe to say she'd be a hell of an eBay seller.
I mean, and she also knows like what is it that my buyer wants, right? Like, let me appeal to them. I think she would do very well on eBay because that's how that works. Definitely.
All right, let's move on here. So your first item up for grabs is, and this is I'm reading the titles directly from the eBay listing. Survivor Season 41 Beware Advantage Immunity Idol Prop Replica.
Ooh, the prop replica. That probably takes down the value.
So these are handcrafted, much like the beads themselves, replicas of all three Beware advantages from Survivor Season 41. The quantity may help. That is to be determined. But yeah, for those that don't remember, they are basically just little dingly, dangly, janky looking necklaces with like 5 or so beads on them. And so that is indeed probably one of the easiest replicas to create.
And you get the note. You get the note also.
Yep, they made a replica of the note. They made a replica of the Beware Advantage envelope as well. So that's the whole package being represented here. Liana, what do you think is the price of the Beware Advantage replica set?
Okay, so this is tough because I think the cost of the raw materials to make this is probably pretty low. Now, obviously, we didn't play how much does this bead cost, which again I think is a great idea, but that's fine.
Technically,
that's sort of what this is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This is the game you wanted.
Yeah, it is. So I feel like I said, the raw material cost is probably pretty low. However, you do have that markup if you're trying to, say, all right, look, it's a prop Beware Advantage. I think I'm going to hit this with $40.
$40. Okay. Much like the confessional chart that when Liana took a look at to base her confessionals off of. It's all about 40.
$7.
Jordan, what about you?
So I'm going to go a little bit less because I think if these are props, my guess is maybe were they selling these on like the CBS site at some point and there's multiple. I don't know if it's a one of a kind item. I'm going to say it's like $31.
Okay. Jordan says that they go a bit cheapo depot on the Beware Advantage. And in this case, he is definitely more on the money. $33.59 for the Survivor Season 41 at Beware Advantage. That's like $10 an idol, basically.
Okay. Yeah, that's not so bad. Okay, so if we do the math, wait, how many beads? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-ish beads? Oh, that's kind of expensive. Oh,
that's expensive.
Cost of the paper, but still. I think how much does this bead cost? $2?
Yeah, that's the answer. We finally figured it out.
And you don't even have to go into the Chamber of Secrets.
I know, yeah.
Well, I guess that would not be the Chamber of Secrets.
Or ask Sandra.
No Applebee's, yeah.
All right, next up, Vintage 90s Survivor tastes like chicken rat t-shirt TV show promo men's XL gray. So it is a t-shirt that I'm assuming was sold at some point in time around the release of Survivor Borneo that has the Survivor Borneo logo on it that says tastes like chicken, and below it are a couple of rats, of course, infamously referring to the big moment of the Pagong eating the rats. Liana has
that was a very memorable quote on Survivor Borneo, one of the most memorable.
Liana, do you have a question, or are you putting in an early bid?
No, I have a question. So is this replica or official?
It seems like it's official from what I can see, specifically because it's like in good vintage condition. Like the fact that it has previously been worn seems to indicate for me that this was something that was purchased back in 2000, worn for some portion of time, and now it's being sold.
And it's on like Jeffrey Dahmer's mannequin too, which makes it.
He's
no.
He's like Donald ducking. Like, why are there no pants? I don't know.
Or legs. There's no legs.
That's what you do on Survivor. Noelle could be a model here.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. This is gonna sound maybe quite insensitive, which you know how it's like you shouldn't say this is insensitive, but
yeah.
They went back and got Noelle's leg, right? Because like she did the whole challenge and then they just like sent her off to Ballsack Island. But they got her leg. Yeah. Okay. She had it when she went. And I was like, are they ever gonna go back and get her leg?
And imagine she had to hop through the jungle on one. I mean, listen, she'd pull it off because she's Noelle and she's amazing.
Oh,
and she swam through a whole freaking leg of a challenge with one leg.
Oh yeah, no, she's a total boss, like so super badass. But the only thing I thought was, oh no, they didn't go back and get her leg.
It'd be like when like JT left his idol buried at camp. Like you can't go back and dig it up. You can't go back and get your leg.
Sorry, you can't have it.
Sorry for you.
Yeah,
do you think Vanuatu Chad is watching this and is happy about the representation, or is pissed that like no one's gonna remember me now?
I mean, it's a broad assumption to say that Vanuatu Chad is watching the show.
Hey, you don't think Chad's a Survivor superfan, Mike?
All up in the B&B.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't slip into his DMs to find out how you get the bead back.
I don't know if he has DMs.
All right, Jordan, what do you think is the price of vintage 90s Survivor Tastes Like Chicken Rat t-shirt TV show promo men's XL gray as found in Jeffrey Dahmer's basement?
Do you know if is this worn or no?
Yeah, so it's I'll read the description
it is
here.
worn.
In good vintage condition, light wear, no holes or tears, small, very faint stain on front, shown in photos, but it's not super noticeable on the fabric.
It's a noticeable
it's
shirt.
so noticeable. It's that whole yellow bit. Yeah.
I mean, if it's on the rat, if the stain is on the rat, it really wouldn't be that noticeable. I'm going to say this is a worn shirt. It's like, it's old and it's a reference to Survivor, but it's not like even the most memorable thing that happened from Borneo. I don't think there's a lot of demand for this shirt. I'm going to say this is going to be at like $13.
$13. Lucky number, Liana.
Okay, so my logic is if the replica was selling at $33.59, right? This has got to be more than that if it's like a true, authentic Survivor branded. So I'm gonna say more. Do I have to give a price?
Yes.
$30.
Okay,
well, Liana, I said more. Give a number because I was hoping you would say 69.
69!
No!
69, we did it.
We
Not
did it.
69, 97. Well, I don't want a $69 shirt that also says
maybe
like
is that
it feels a little too
Mike,
salacious.
is that the stain?
Yeah, is it still purchasable?
It
also
is
it is in the right location for the 69.
But yeah, 69.97 for the Taste Like Chicken shirt. Congratulations, Liana, you have tied things up.
Oh, good. Well,
I'm happy Liana got the 69 point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad I didn't actually guess 69, but here we are.
Yeah, now you're gonna guess 69 for all these other ones.
You best believe it.
All right, well, you have another chance
Who's
here.
paying $69 for a used stained shirt with a dumb Survivor phrase that's barely a Survivor phrase?
I mean, the question is, have you ever seen this shirt before? Like, this is truly a rarity.
And it's not because it's not good. If it was good, then more people would have had it back in the day.
I don't know why the Survivor logo is like your diaphragm height. Like, what a weird placement for everything.
Yeah, it expands every time you breathe.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, next up, Survivor TV show 2002 calendar. Outwit, outplay, outlast. So this is a desk calendar for the year 2002, which features photos from both Survivor Borneo and Survivor the Australian Outback. Liana, thoughts?
Okay, so this is legit, I assume, right? Like, this looks like it's made from Survivor officially. The thing is that we've been all over the place when it comes to the cards, right? That are officially released by Survivor. Sometimes they're super cheap, sometimes they're insanely expensive. I am going to go with, it's an everyday. Is it opened?
It is, well, at least the pictures have it opened. I'll read just some flavor text here from the back of the box just for fun as you come up with your guesses here. If you're one of the 36.4 million viewers who sat glued to your seat during the live final episode of Survivor and gasped in surprise as Tina beat Colby for the $1 million, then this calendar is for you. It's based on the Smash television hit Survivor, and every page features a color image of the castaways, activities, artifacts, or geography from either the Pulau Tiga or the Australian Outback series. That's a throwback. Remember when Borneo called Pulau Tiga? The images are accompanied by quotes, tidbits, and facts from the shows. For example, did you know that both Jeff and Alicia have tattoos of Chinese characters? Or that the Pagong tribe got fire when Gretchen used BB's thick prescription lenses as a magnifying glass to start a flame? One of those things happened on the show, and one of those things didn't, calendar people. Or that the 3 egg-laying chickens and rooster from the 4th reward challenge at the Australian Outback were nicknamed Henrietta, Holly, Ruby, and Rocky? No fan can survive without this calendar.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Okay, so it's unused, legit, and super weird. So I think I'm gonna go with, I don't want to say 30 again. $20.69.
Ooh.
Right, 2069, the year in which Survivor, whatever year it was, will still be on the air.
I hope so.
Jordan, what about you?
So this is sort of like the physical embodiment of This Week in Survivor history. I don't know if it's actually events, and I think back in 2002 there probably weren't enough events to make a full calendar with. So I think that this is going to be a little bit more than what Liana said. I think this is kind of, if the dumb stained shirt is going for $69, I don't think this is going for more than that, because I think the shirt's being listed for a ridiculous amount. I want to talk to whoever listed this shirt. I'm going to say, though, that this is going to go for, like, I don't want to do 31 again because I used 31 already. But I'm going to say it's like 32.
Only 31. It's definitely 32.
Really branching out there. Yeah, good for
All
you.
right.
This is kind of cool. I would sort of want to flip through this calendar and see what fun facts and activities you get to do.
You could use it for Twitch.
Exactly. I wouldn't even have to write questions anymore.
So
Now
maybe we should buy it for him.
all of the questions would be from seasons like 1 through 3, or actually it was just 1 and 2, right?
Just 1 and 2.
I think that, I don't know if Rob would like
that.
the lack of the most recent 41 seasons of Survivor.
That's fine.
I don't know. He might love it. He was a huge fan of that show back in the day.
That's true.
Well, the good news is if we buy it for Jordan, it will not be much.
Ooh.
$14.50.
This is a
we could
steal.
buy it for him.
A steal at any price.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so congratulations, Liana. You get the point here by being the least off, I suppose, of the evaluation of the desk calendar.
Also, between me and Liana, I think Liana is the least off, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and you let this man around your children.
All right, next up, did someone say t-shirt? One World Survivor t-shirt, official TV show, XXL Men's 2011.
No.
How is that a Survivor shirt? What is that?
No.
What is that?
Okay, so...
Is this the band?
It says, Tribe has spoken.
This is not official.
Cross against them with a logo of Survivor One World below it.
This
Why?
looks like a band t-shirt. I don't believe you. Like, I just don't believe you.
I think I'd rather have the Stain 69 shirt.
Well, of course, everyone wants the Stain 69 shirt. That's why it has such a high price point.
All right, hold on. I gotta zoom in. Is this official?
It says official, but it
got
can't
the
be, right?
logo.
I think
it's
they
got
just
the logo,
wrote
like,
official.
and I think back in those days, right, in like 2011, like screen printing services, I think were not as advanced. You would have to like really mass print these. If it helps, I'll read the listing here. Fits XL best. My husband is usually between XL and shirts, but it's too big for him, so I tag it XXL as well. Please check measurements. I cannot refund shipping. Sad face emoji. I am just a mom trying to pay my daughter very excessive medical bills for Lyme disease.
I kind of want to buy it now. I feel bad.
Helps mom's very excessive medical bills for Lyme disease.
Why is it so wrinkly?
This is why we need universal health care, because people have to sell their Survivor shirts to pay for their daughter's Lyme disease treatment.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah. Okay, good. This is part of the ballot now.
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe in universal health care until that post, but now I do.
Until this moment. Now Jordan is like, yes, you know what? You're right.
I have seen the Lyme.
Yeah, Europe has it right. We need this. This is a disaster. Jordan goes first.
Much like One World.
Please. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think the same person that was casting Survivor One World made this t-shirt because it's equally bad. I am going to say, I don't even know what to guess anymore. So it's X. Okay, here's the interesting thing. So you have XL, it's XXL.
So it's XL, but it can also, fit an XXL.
Big,
so it's a very versatile
for XL husband.
Yeah, that's a very versatile shirt. It's a dumb design.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. This is like the Brotherhood of the Traveling One World T-shirt.
Oh, that's how you get Lyme disease.
Yeah. Yeah. This shirt, it's gonna be like, she's trying to get money for her kid. I think she's maybe upselling it because you want to get the best Lyme disease treatment. You don't want some sort of like bootleg Lyme disease treatment. I'm gonna say it's like $43.
43 makes sense given the season. Liana, what about you?
I think that's why I did it.
This is tough because the other stained t-shirt was at $69. So I think I'm also going to go with $69 for the One World Survivor t-shirt official TV show XXL men's 2011.
Parentheses for Lyme disease.
Yeah, for Lyme disease.
So
shot for the cure.
I will say, as a bit of a spoiler for what's to come, not every t-shirt on eBay costs $69.
No.
$25 even.
We're tied up, baby.
No. All right, fine.
Yeah, but again, this is a design I do not recall. I guess happened at some point. I don't know who they hired to do this thing.
I've literally never seen this in my entire life.
No, nobody's ever worn this shirt except for the one guy who wore this exact shirt.
Okay, someone has to buy it for the memes. Come on, Jordan, get it together. Support Lyme disease.
Yeah, there's no noticeable stain.
That's true.
There's kind of one right there, right?
I think that One World is a stain in itself.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's dirt. All right, next up. Now, this is an interesting one. Survivor mystery packs.
It's a mystery.
And I revealed the answer by accident.
Oh, I was going to say $25.
No, I said $25.
Well, this will be just a bonus one because I also felt a little unfair because, again, this was like completely random.
What's in it?
So this is to support Give Kids the World. They're the ones that give it away. And they say, Survivor Mystery Fun Package. Purchase a package upon receive items valued at least $40. Could include autograph with a parentheses S around it. So either one autograph or multiple autographs, trading cards, clothing, and more. 100% of the proceeds will benefit Give Kids the World.
Okay. That makes me think that it's probably not BS and they're actually sending you
Wait, what's
some
the
stuff.
more?
I'm just a little intrigued by like you could get one autograph, you could get multiple autographs. It is really like one of those loot crate boxes, right, where they just throw a bunch of random crap into a box and ship it to your home every month. That's what this kind of feels like here.
Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Like we had a bunch of autographs left over from Give Kids the World. Let's still put it in a box and send it to people for $25.
Yeah, no, and more.
I've dabbled in the world of baseball cards before, and whenever I see these mystery packs, I always get a little bit skeptical because there was a scam that was being run where you would buy like a mystery pack of cards that could have a valuable hologram card, but what the seller would do is weigh the packs. They would keep the ones that were a little bit heavier because those were the ones with the hologram cards, and they would send the sealed packs that clearly didn't have holograms. But the fact that this is like a charity thing, I think it's probably fine. But when I saw the mystery pack, I was a little bit skeeved out. So
interesting. Yeah, that's like
$25
that's like something like Sangman would do, right? Who has the
Yeah.
the ability to feel something and be like, this weighs 0.5 grams heavier, therefore
No,
it
it
has
was-
the holographic card in it.
it was controversial. So now I think people typically don't buy mystery packs of cards anymore because it's easy to do.
Yeah, like the fish cheating scandal, right? Where the guy put the weights in the fish, but like the opposite of that.
Oh, yes. Or the aforementioned anal bead chess scandal, where they put
Yeah, but like the
anal beads
opposite of that.
in the butt.
Like, oh, you weigh slightly
Less anal
heavier
beads.
today. Do you have anal beads in you?
No, yeah,
It's like
gonna
go
be like,
fish.
no,
The go fish cheating scandal.
go fish. No, it's gonna be like
Go,
when you
yeah,
have to
Jeff,
weigh
go
in-
fish. Go fish the anal beads out of my butt.
Oh, no. No.
Beads, baby.
No.
All right, next up, and I'm pretty sure I didn't reveal the answer on this one. Here we go. Funny favorites, Naked and Afraid, Survivor food shirt saying
What?
TV shows Survive I.
Not Survive I. Wait, hold
What
on.
is this shirt? These shirts are so bad.
Okay, wait. Okay, so first of all, we have the description, which Mike just read, which is funny favorites, Naked and Afraid, Survivor, food shirt saying TV show Survive I. Then we have the actual shirt, which says, not my favorite, just favorite 3 things.
Anyone's favorite.
Yeah, just anyone favorite 3 things. Naked and Afraid, Survivor, not Survive I, and food. I'm sorry, what?
You have Naked and Afraid, which is a very like fringe reality TV show, the most popular reality TV show potentially of all time, and then the thing that you need to survive, to live.
I love it so
Those
much.
are your
It's
favorites?
like one of these things is not like other. It's like favorite 3 things: Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, cheeseburger. Like what?
Yeah.
Or it's even more generic. It's like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, air. Like it's just something you need in your daily life.
So, okay, so this is like fan made, right? Because
Yes.
CBS is
This
not
is now
putting out the
official-
Naked and Afraid Survivor
Hey,
food
look,
shirt.
I think I know what the shirt's about. So there is somebody who has been on Survivor, has been on Naked and Afraid, and has presumably eaten food. This is a Michael Jefferson shirt. So the super fans are really gonna love
They
this
get
one,
it.
all the way back to Survivor One World.
Oh God, let's go
Yeah.
back to that T-shirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
This is
the
another
one,
One World
the one
shirt.
center of the Venn diagram of what does this one thing have in common.
Oh my God. All right. Can you read the description? Or will
yeah,
this be terrifying?
No, it's fairly short. This
Okay.
T-shirt is a great one to add to your collection of shirts. You will love the way it wears and the comfort. While you're here, check out some of our other T-shirt designs we have. You may find the one you've been looking for, myonlinetees.com.
That was like a badly written sentence
I
from a
think an
badly
AI wrote
written
that.
shirt.
I don't
I mean, shall we go back to Survive I?
Survivor.
not Survive I.
Who goes first on this one?
Lord, I
Hold
hope
on.
it's
Now
not
I'm on
me.
myonlinetees.com, and there's some really fantastic things here, including Dad by Day, Football by Night. I'm a sexy mama. There is the check the box single taken in the garage working on my truck.
Why?
I-
What does that have to do with relationships?
That is a relationship status. Yes.
I guess
I'm
have
in a
seen that
relationship
on
with your
Hinge,
truck.
Yeah.
Work out and get fit or die.
Oh my God. What a dramatic
Have you ever seen? Wait,
choice.
have you ever seen the Twitter account shirts that go hard? I feel like that would be a shirt that goes hard.
No, I have not, but that sounds like something I should be following.
It's a very good Twitter
and,
account.
and let's see, we got another like typifying listing. I only care about 2 things: beer and my dog. And perhaps one of my favorite, property of hockey.
So
property.
so what I'm getting from the other property
That's
of
a Tom
hockey
Laidlaw shirt.
t-shirts, yeah, yeah. Well, also pro Survivor, I suppose.
Mhm.
So the Survivor seems like an anomaly here, from what I'm learning from myonlinetees.com or whatever it was. So I don't. This makes no sense. Why are they selling it on eBay? Also, of all places. Right? Like, this is more like an Etsy thing than it is an eBay thing, because it's like made by fans for people. I don't know.
99 problems and sleep solves all of them.
Yeah. I am the man called Papa, and I am one badass dad.
What? Okay, so here's what I think they emphasize: the quality of their t-shirts, right? Because it's the only thing they have, because the sayings no one cares about what's printed on this. So I don't know if I go first, but if I go first, I'm going to say $20.
$20. Okay, Jordan, what about you?
I think that, and is this with the shipping or without the shipping?
I believe this is with. That's a good question.
Where do you think it's being shipped from?
I mean, it's whatever price is listed, so I'm not including the shipping.
Antarctica?
In
there. Okay. So not including the shipping. I think it's going to be a little bit less than what Liana said. I'm going to go, and I'm not going to use any like Price is Right strategy here. I think that defeats the fun of the game. I'm going to say 17. I really should say 19, but I'm going to say 17 to give Liana a little bit of wiggle room in case it's in that range.
Either way, Liana had it on the nose pretty much.
Ooh,
$20.99.
Nice. Very nice.
See? They said quality t-shirt, okay?
I am so mystified by this shirt.
You can't scare me. I teach grade school.
They should wear that, Jordan.
Jordan, buy this and wear this to class. I would love that.
No, not that shirt. This specific shirt. 3 things: Naked and Afraid, Survivor.
That is correct. Yes.
Because I drive race cars. That's why.
Yes. Well, you do also love
feels like for a very specific crowd. There are only so many race car drivers in the world.
I don't even know.
All right. Well, let's move on from the t-shirts. That was the last t-shirt, I swear. Next up.
Sad.
Vintage 2000 CBS Survivor the TV show temporary tattoos body art new NOS.
Those were the bugs on Survivor Marquesas.
Yes, the new nose. So these are Survivor the Australian Outback themed temporary tattoos.
Wow.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say I feel like this is very much new territory. I have never in my life putting together Buffett Snap, or what is this? Price is Rourke. I have never seen temporary tattoos. I am so excited, and I hope that they are not expensive, because I will be purchasing these as long as they are not crazy expensive after this. So Jordan is going to go first, but I just want to say that I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned here, so I see the CBS Consumer Products. I see a Copyright 2000 Survivor Productions LLC on the back. This is the genuine article. This was put out in, I'm assuming, 2001, around the release of Survivor the Australian Outback.
Do you think the temporary tattoos still work? They're probably pretty old, yeah?
I don't know. What's the shelf life of temporary tattoos?
I have no idea.
All right, so if I had to guess a price on this, it's vintage. Vintage could be expensive. 2000 CBS Survivor, the TV show, temporary tattoos, body art. Okay.
As opposed to Survivor the person.
Yes, the new NOS is throwing me off.
Not the new NOS.
I think that these are, I don't think they're going to be that expensive. Like, I don't think temporary tattoos would ever really sell for all that much. They're temporary. I am going to put these at $15.
$15, Liana.
That's tough. I wanted to say $4.20. The thing is, I've never seen them before. So what does that mean? Does that mean like no one wanted to sell them ever, so they're cheap, or they're like super high in value? No, they're temporary tattoos. Come on. All right. I will do the Price is Right strategy. What do you say, Jordan? 10?
I said 15.
15. I will say $14.99.
I should have told you 10.
All right. And so Jordan is going to get this one because Liana nudged in the wrong direction. $18. for the
Shucks.
tattoos. And just as a bit of a zoom in, so you get the Survivor the Australian Outback logo. There is a bit of like
Nice.
a torch. There is a crocodile with a little bit of a band around it, and there is a snake inside
Very
of
nice.
a diamond. So that could
Very
all
nice.
be yours for $18. And as I'm advertised on eBay, you get an extra 25% off with code SPOOKYDEALS22.
Ooh, spooky
Ooh,
deals.
wow.
All
20%
right.
off.
Yeah, so Jordan, if you're looking to buy that
spooky.
$69 t-shirt, that'll, take off a good chunk at least.
With the
That's good.
stain.
With the stain. I mean, I maybe the stain increases the value. It makes it more one of a kind. All the other ones are just not stains, right?
Yeah.
Stains
always increase value.
I have a Survivor the Australian Outback keychain that I bought in Las Vegas in like 2001 or 2002 when I went as a kid with my family. I still have it, but unfortunately there's like a little rubber thing that comes. It's like a rubber keychain, and the little thing that the metal hole thing on the keychain it would go into is broken, so I can't actually use it as a keychain, but I do have it on my desk. Not here.
It actually was one
Sure.
of the things that I chose not to include, but there was a keychain on there, so you might have like Slumdog Millionaired yourself into another point there.
Ooh, yes. I don't remember how much it cost, and my mom probably bought it for me.
Well, we are all tied up. And
Hey,
it's
I
great.
never dreamed I'd grow up to be a hunter, but here I am killing it.
And here we are.
That's from this shirt.
Is that from what was the t-shirt account?
I'm on myonlinetees.com.
I'm still on myonlinetees.com. I'm going to be scrolling on the site
great,
probably
good.
for the rest of this podcast.
Oh, I
All
can't
right.
wait.
Well, don't get too distracted because there's one item left.
Ooh.
And it's a big one. We are talking Survivor DVD
Wow.
Blast, the Cutthroat DVD
Ooh.
trivia DVD TV show. Jeff Probst.
Mike, you're
CBS
giving away all my
board
secrets.
game.
This is why I get
my
my questions every
God.
week. Come on, Mike.
All right, so I will read. I think. Let's see. I don't think they have it on the. So basically, this is okay. I'll read the back here. Fast-paced trivia challenge. Get ready to relive all the challenges, adventure, and ruthless competition of one of TV's most popular reality shows with Survivor DVD Blast. And all your favorite characters, all your favorite scenes, from Rudy and Rupert to Stephanie and Amber. Definitely dates when this was produced. This Survivor DVD game has it all. Hours and hours of Survivor action for as few as 2 players, as to as many as you can squeeze into your living room. No board, no tokens, no dice.
No tokens.
On-screen scoring, Jordan, that's great for you.
That's
and
good.
Great on the go. Pop it in, play it up, party on. I will also
I feel like you're just describing an orgy at this point, Mike.
Pop it in, put it on, and put it in. I will also read the description of the DVD board game. Survivor DVD Blast, the Cutthroat Trivia DVD TV show Jeff Probst CBS board game. Pre-owned condition. This is for ages 13 plus, adult, 2 or more players. This has trivia and clips from favorite Survivor seasons. Barnes, Australian Outback, All-Stars, Exile Island, and more.
What is Barnes?
I'm pretty sure they mistyped Borneo.
Yeah, what is Barnes?
It's Barnes.
Yeah.
It went from Pulau Tiga to Borneo to Barnes.
Not Barnes.
Survivor Barnes and Chris Noble.
Oh my God. I love that department store. No, what would you call it? Bookstore?
Bookstore.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Well, Liana, give your final bid here for the last item. How much does this DVD game cost?
Did you say it was used or not?
It is pre-owned.
Pre-owned. Okay. Oh my God. I have no freaking clue. $40.
$40
What do I know?
from Liana Boraas. Jordan Kalish, your final bid.
See, if it were just a DVD, I think I would go lower than $41. But since it's a game, it's a full night of entertainment. If you went out and went to bar trivia with your friends, one night of that would end up costing more because you'd spend it on the drinks, you get some food. Here you get to pop in all your friends into your living room. I'm gonna have to and I will turnabout is fair trade, Liana. I am going to use the Price is Right strategy on you now. Even though it didn't work for you, I'm gonna go 40. What did you say? 41? I'm going 42.
$42. Okay, so you're staying in the 40s with these answers. So I'm glad I didn't give this factoid away because I think this would have very much influenced both of your decisions. As soon as I saw this lovely piece of memorabilia fall across my eBay screen and I saw the price
no.
point, I bought the solitary copy of Survivor
No,
DVD.
you
Oh, can we
did
play it at
Because
your house once?
yeah, we can because it is $6.50.
Oh, wow. That's a
I'm
steal,
expecting
Mike.
perhaps a broken disc completely at that price point, but I couldn't resist it.
Wow.
Oh my God. So it hasn't arrived yet, but you have purchased said DVD blast.
And now this is the second time in a row. I believe last time we played Prices Work, I purchased the Survivor trading cards, which I think are in my closet right now. So essentially, I walk from every one of these just a little bit more in debt with all the Survivor stuff that I'm buying.
It's necessary, I think.
So
well, I'm about to buy
congratulations.
some temporary tattoos. So
Yeah,
yes.
Liana, it's a war of attrition, but you ended up squeaking out a win here, 4-3.
Congratulations, Liana.
Yay! Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Good job, me.
Just
All
like
right.
when Tina Wesson beat the great Colby Donaldson in Survivor, 4-3.
Yes, you are the Colby Donaldson of Survivor.
I've
Well,
said that
listen,
before.
I'm
I've
just
been-
saying,
I've been
Colby's
told
featured
that.
on the back cover of Survivor DVD Plus, and
Hey,
Tina isn't.
quiet,
Who's the true
quiet,
winner.
quiet, please. Convention planner at work is another thing I've always said. That's also on a
Why
T-shirt.
are these T-shirts incredibly specific to certain?
Very specific. A lot of them are also about Nurse Ratched. Many of them are about a certain former United States president. Dreidel champion.
Jordan Hanukkah's
There we
right
go.
around the corner.
It is. It is. I feel like I should be getting these shirts for people.
All right. Well, we'll see. Now Jordan will perhaps, instead of spending his winnings on eBay Survivor stuff like I am, he's spending it on myonlinetees.com.
Okay, this one is the best one. Crazy pole assassin lady.
What? Like what?
Crazy
pole
pole assassin lady.
What's a pole assassin lady?
Oh, is that what CPA stands for?
Oh, maybe.
Yes, I got my CPA license.
That's
yeah,
what it
same
stands
thing.
for.
Crazy
yes.
pole assassin lessons.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the closest that Jordan will get to accounting. Either way. So
I thought you were going to say
or
to be
women.
a pole assassin.
Oh, okay.
Lord, Jeff. All right. Well, let's finish things off. Jordan, you've been through this before. Your opportunity to highlight a charity or cause that people can spend their money on, perhaps besides random Survivor T-shirts from the year 2000. What do you want to highlight this week?
So I think this is something that's just very, very, very current, and the people who were affected by Hurricane Ian down in Florida could certainly use people's help. So the thing that I'm going to highlight is the American Red Cross. If you go to redcross.org/hurricane/Ian-donate, or you can probably just Google American Red Cross Hurricane Ian. That was a very long website that I just tried to give you. But yeah, I mean, look, this is something that the people there are going through right now, and immediate relief is definitely needed.
Absolutely. Yeah. So be sure to support that. Google Hurricane Ian relief for the Red Cross. Jordan, this was so much fun. I love the energy that you bring every single time. Is just such a match for what Liana and I do. We're our own little trio, right? Alongside like Cody, NECA, and Jesse. Though, much like NECA, we will be voting you out by the end
sorry,
of the
Jordan.
podcast.
Yes, it's okay. Look, I had a good run. I got to slide into a lot of my Survivor Legends DMs, which is always a good time. Yeah, I always appreciate the invite. This has been fun every time I've done it. I think this is the fourth time now. I mean, I know we did I think
yeah, we did, yeah, because we
did
one
like
of
the
those...
special like B&B OTT during the summer. Yeah. So it's always fun when coming on the podcast and playing these silly games with you guys. So it's thank you very much, and I love listening. I love I don't think I've ever missed a B&B. I'm pretty sure I could say that.
Well, the pleasure was all ours. Besides going to found the Big Birds Big Sisters program in your local neighborhood, what else do you have going on?
Yeah, all I want is Elmer's bead. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm teaching, as you know, as always. I am currently coaching cross country. Our team has been great this year. I always like to give my team a shout out when necessary. We just did really well in one of our meets. We're probably going to be going to sectionals within the next month. So
when do you go to regionals?
we're not. So regionals, we might go to states. I don't know about regionals. I don't even know if there is a regionals for cross country.
What about nationals?
Is this a reference?
This is
a reference to
joke,
Glee.
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
You can just ignore us and move on.
It's okay. Look, peace, love, and poodles. That's what I always say.
Sure. As they all
has to be
say.
maybe 5 people that these t-shirts are applicable to in the world.
Why
Yeah,
there's
not
so
live, laugh,
many
love. Peace,
there's
love,
so
poodles.
many Nurse Ratched shirts. Oh, I can't keep calm. I'm from Survivor. That's also a shirt on this site.
Oh,
I'm on page
that's a
10
good
now,
one.
so you have to get pretty deep.
All right, it's a little O in the SEO. Yeah, I've also seen Naked and Afraid birthday, and you're not invited. Hashtag quarantine 2020. So it's more of a pandemic reference than like a social exiling
Very
reference.
niche.
All right, well, Liana, what do you have going on in your Barnes & Noble-esque library of podcasts?
Yes, my Barnes and Chris Noble-esque repertoire. Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Liana RHAP, podcasting about The Masked Singer. As always with Puya, it's been a total mess, but here we are. Also, I have a very exciting opportunity coming up with the Lego Masters hosts. I'm going to potentially be doing an interview with JB and Amy, the Brick Masters. I'm very excited. So if you have any questions you want to ask, please hit me up because I will be potentially interviewing them next week. And then, yeah, I think that does it for me. Just enjoying the whole fall season and all that Survivor has to offer.
Yes, we got our PSLs, we've got our LIVINs. We're good to go.
Living.
So you can follow me at a Mike Bloom type. Mentioned the NECA interview before. She opened up a bit about all the various relationships that she had, how she looks back on her decision to not lie on the island. It was a very fun conversation. There was a lot of laughs being had. So check that out. Amazing race. No elimination. So no exit interview, but still a very fun recap with Rob and Jess. And then over on post-show recaps, as my t-shirt dictates, I'm talking about Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. I'm talking about Lord of the Rings with the Rings of Power. I'm talking Heroes with Josh Regler. Those are my 3 favorite things at the moment going on post-show recaps.
Team Black or Team Green right now?
Oh, definitively Team Black. Team Green is, I mean, some people say that they're on Team Green because they feel like the kids are more appealing, though we'll see. There's going to be another time jump, so maybe the children of Rhaenyra will be able to maybe grow some personality in the next little bit of time. We'll see, though. It's going to be actually a special week coming up. Grace Leader's going to be out because it is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so it'll be myself, DJ LaBelle Klein, and Frail Mary Kwiatkowski are going to be talking about, and Viserys is looking a little Frail Mary himself by the next time jump we see. So that's going to do it for this week on the B&B. Of course, any game ideas you want to send us are always welcome. RHAPBNB@gmail.com. Hell, we played a game this week where we had to just guess out of nowhere what Survivor contestants would do for beads over some sort of odd rubric.
They'll do anything, guys. They'll do anything, literally.
Exactly. Our desperation is there. So you can reach out to us again through email. You can use Twitter, #RHAPBNB. TBD on the guests next week. It's early in the week at the time of recording this, so we haven't locked anything in, but should be yet another fun week of the B&B. This really was. Again, for episodes that may not be as satisfactory as other ones, I think we're still able to really enjoy ourselves on the B&B no matter what. And I hope you all did as well. Thank you all again so much for listening. Jordan, fantastic work as per usual. Liana and I will be back next week with mystery package guest. With only a cost of $25 to cover episode 4 of Survivor 43. Until then, we'll check you out at your next stay.
Love you.